Hello you, it's me. I was watching Nightmare Neil Speaks this morning, and this young woman was talking about transphobia and how transphobic it is to find out that somebody is trans and then refuse to date them. Okay, you can think that that's transphobia. I think that's preference. And what's most interesting about this video is what she says after that. So let's take a listen. Okay, so what she's about to say is that if a trans woman has a vagina, let's continue.
You say that you're not used to the genitals, but it's a vagina, and you're afraid because it was a penis. But penises and vaginas are basically the same thing. A penis is just their larger, growth of what a vagina is. Hence the clitoris.
Okay, so she says that a penis and a vagina are basically the same. So my first question is, if that's true, then why are you trans? Because if a penis and a vagina are basically the same, then what kind of dysmorphia are you experiencing because they're the same? As you can see, that just is absolutely absurd. Of course, a penis and a vagina are not the same, because if they were the same, then trans women wouldn't be spending so much money to get a created vagina, just the same as a trans man wouldn't be cutting off half the fat of their arm in order to get some kind of a resemblance to a penis. So already I have to question, what is she talking about when obviously she knows that there's a difference? So why is she saying that there isn't? But there is more. Okay, so as she continues, she's talking about how men are afraid of being with a trans woman and how society sees trans women as either being very masculine or they have to pass. If they don't pass, then they're lazy. Let's continue with what she says after that.
Dressing up in women's clothing and just, wanting to go into women's locker rooms, bathrooms, and be purrs and seek out, other women. Girl, I have not the slightest attraction towards women.
Okay, so she has not the slightest attraction towards women at all. So is that saying that she has a preference? Because doesn't everybody get to have preferences? And this is my biggest complaint about transgendered I don't have a problem with transgendered people. It's the activists that sit there and scream that if you're not attracted to me, if you don't want to date me, then you're transphobic. But here very clearly, she is stating, I have a preference. I'm not attracted to women at all. So you're allowed to have a preference, but everybody else, if they have preferences and they're transphobic, that doesn't make any sense to me. This is the problem that I have. If you are a trans person, that's fantastic. But you know what? Maybe that's not everybody's preference. And that's okay. I'm not attracted to women either. And that's okay. And if one day I decided, oh, there is a woman that I'm actually attracted to, and maybe I want to date her, maybe I want to be intimate with her, that's okay too. I'm allowed to have that. I'm allowed to have preference, just as this transgendered woman is allowed to have preference. She doesn't want to date women. Why? I thought penises and vaginas were just the same. So why does it matter? Why are you trans at all? Why didn't you just keep what you had and be happy with it because it's all the same? The point is, it's not all the same. That's the point. It's not all the same. Everybody has preferences. And if a man doesn't want to date a transgendered woman, that's okay. Because maybe that's not his preference. Because there are plenty of guys who love to date trans women. And As a matter of fact, there's probably some women who love to date trans women too. It's not a black and white issue. It's a preference. And it's okay to have a preference. And it doesn't make you transphobic if you have preferences. Because if that were true, then this young woman would be transphobic. Because she doesn't want to date women. Does that include trans women? Does that include all women? Does that include people who present feminine? She's not very specific on it, but she just says, I have no attraction to women, I'm a woman. Okay, preference. If you can have preference, so can I. So can everybody. That's all I gotta say.